So at the end of this year into next year, this is what I see. You are going to actually start to do some of those things that you will be very clear about in August, September, October. This will involve you changing your schedule. This will involve you perhaps learning something new, willing to step up and do something you've never done before.
When I'm challenged like that, it's an exciting time for me because I know I'm learning something new. So then I'm all in at that point. Make the mistakes, do whatever it is, and it takes me to a new place.
Hello friends, I'm Alice Inoue, and it's my pleasure to invite you on a unique adventure with Following Journeys. Here, we translate the celestial codes of some inspiring business leaders and entrepreneurs through their birth charts. As we follow their stories, we'll see how the cosmos influences their business timings and life choices. Dive into astrology with me and let's discover the magic behind each entrepreneurial journey.
Every single person on Earth was born on a certain day, at an exact time, and in a specific place. Using this information, we can create a map of the sky showing the planetary positions at the time of birth. This map, also known as a birth chart, shows information about the person and their life themes and cycles. Astrology has been used as a tool for guidance since ancient times, with civilizations looking to the stars for answers as far back as 4,000 to 5,000 years ago. Today, Alice uses this ancient wisdom to provide insights and clarity. Many people doubt that astrology is real and readily dismiss it as a hoax. Can astrology really tell us things about ourselves and our life events? Is there some truth to the planets having an influence on our lives? Our episode today will invite you into a private session, allowing you unprecedented access to view the process by which a chart is delineated. You can decide for yourself if astrology is something to dismiss or if it's real. Today's guest is Dr. Curtis Takemoto-Gentile.
So we see everything from newborns to teenagers, young adults. It's just a general practice. So we'll do things like blood pressure, diabetes, we'll do wound care, we'll do minor surgeries. What's kind of cool is that, yeah, we are a family practice. My daughter's with me. Janice, my wife, is the office manager. My son actually has worked in my office when I needed help, and now he's our legal expertise for the practice. So it's still a family practice. It's really cool.
According to his time, location, and day of birth, his sun is in Aries. His moon is in Libra, and he has a Virgo rising. Aries are known for their bold, energetic, and passionate nature, but they can also be impulsive, headstrong, and impatient. Libra Moon individuals are charming, diplomatic, and relationship-oriented. However, when off balance, they tend to be indecisive, overly dependent, and conflict avoidant. Virgo rising brings practicality, attentiveness, and a detail-oriented mindset to the personality, but they can also be critical, anxious, and overly perfectionistic. Alice will spend time with Dr. Curtis and share what she sees in his chart. Alice's reading style leans towards highlighting the positive aspects rather than pointing out negative features. By doing so, she helps individuals optimize their innate talents and potential. Let's see if Dr. Curtis relates to Alice's depiction of his personality.
Dr. Curtis, it is so great to have you here today. I'm really excited to do your chart. I did a lot of work on your chart, and so now I know a lot about you, but I wanted to first see, have you ever had anyone do your chart before?
No, not ever.
And I'm just wondering, what do you know about astrology? Or what do you think, I should say, what do you think about astrology?
Just the astrological signs. I'm in Aries, that much I do know, and it happens in April, and the next is Taurus only because my son's a Taurus. But that's the extent of my knowledge about astrology.
I'm so happy you're here, and I'm really glad you're open to this. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to go through your natal chart. What you're looking at on the screen is a map of the sky. It's a two-dimensional picture. All of these little symbols you see are simply planets and planetary positions. I'm using that to get the information that I get. So I'm going to start by saying the first thing that really stood out to me was this. I'll show you right here. See this? Jupiter is right at the top of your chart. So right here, Jupiter is at the top of your chart. Now, this stood out to me because Jupiter is the planet of wisdom. It's the planet of opportunity. It's that planet that basically, when it's in a prominent position like yours, it brings to your life that aspect of learning, growing, sharing, mentoring. When I saw your chart, even though I do know you're a doctor, I also know that you're interested in wisdom. And this is that sign of like traveling of the mind, which means learning about many different things, traveling of the body. So it's a very adventurous type of theme. Do you see this in your life?
Yes.
In what way does it show up for you?
It's just my own personal growth and looking in different aspects about life, philosophically, spiritually, even, religiously, and then traveling to look for, connections and looking for validation and growing. So between my interests and my partner, my wife's interests, it kind of merged into like a partner pursuing this. And besides just the career, it's really looking at the whole person.
Yeah, it's interesting because Jupiter is the largest planet out there. And whenever it shows up so prominently, it's right at the top of your chart. It's as if you were meant to expand your life in all ways. And so what that brings to you is the archetype of a sage. So if you think about a sage, sages are in the old days, the wise people that lived in the mountain, and people would crawl to them and say, what is the meaning of life? So this is a search energy. So this is you searching your whole life. Anything that interests you, I would imagine that you would go on a journey with. So even though you do what you do as in the medical field, I am certain that there is so much more to you. And we'll get into that than what people may see when they see you have your own clinic. So this is the sage energy. The one thing that really surprised me, I guess, is you have your sun, it's right here, in the 8th house. Okay, so what does that mean? So the sun, you already mentioned earlier that you're in Aries, right? So Aries is the pioneer. Aries is the one that says, I'm impatient, my car is in gear, I want to go, I don't want to wait around, I really want to just keep moving. Do you see that?
Keep moving, yes.
This Aries energy in that 8th house, the positioning is important. The time of your birth determines where the planets fall. And in the 8th house, it makes you somewhat of a rebel. It makes you somewhat of an outlaw. This is where you may break rules. So I'm wondering, in your life or in your profession, is there any way or place where you have stepped outside conventionality?
My whole life has been like that. So I'm the first in my family to go to college.
Okay.
So that was stepping out because I was just advised just get a high school degree. And pursuing medicine was beyond expectations. So did that. And after, while being a physician, then it was like academic medicine and doing things that I wasn't really trained to do, but it was like the rebel in me is like, we're going to get this done. So there's a lot of instances where, I'm the rebel. I'm the quote unquote rogue physician that went on his own and doing things very unconventional.
It totally matches your chart because with your sun in the 8th house, this is you being willing to break molds, being willing to say, I agree, but to a certain extent, and making your own rules. The Aries part is just like, let's just get this show on the road. Like, I'll use this word, why do I need approval from anyone? This is what I kind of want to do. So that's the fire sign. You have your sun in the 8th, that gives you the rebel. Now, I want you to look for your moon. So you see the moon is over here in the 1st house. Okay. Now, in the chart, the sun and the moon are a big deal. Think about how we wake up in the morning, we look for the sun, and at night we look for the moon. Huge luminaries. In a chart, your moon is your emotional nature, how you feel about things. Now, your moon is in the sign of Libra. So Libra is that sign of wanting to be fair, seeing both sides of the coin, peace. It really values peace. But because your moon is in the first house is let's just fight for it. So when you walked in, I saw how you're kind of quiet and you didn't really say much. And I was looking at your chart and I'm like, yeah, if I really were able to see you on a day-to-day basis, I would say that you're someone who likes everyone to get along and be in peace, but you actually have the ability to move things forward. And if you have to fight for something, you will.
Yeah, that I see. It's my initial come from with everything is to be more of an observant and see how things are unfolding and where I fit in and where I should go. So yeah, I'm less of a confrontational type individual, but want to get things done quickly.
Perfect. So that moon in the first house and that Aries sun that you have, it's sort of related and it gives you the theme or sort of an archetype of a hero. Let me explain what that means. A hero doesn't think of themselves as a hero. A hero is someone who finds great satisfaction in helping people succeed, helping people get to their goal. So if you were to offer a solution for someone, maybe medically, that no one else has found, and they come back to you and they say, oh my God, doctor, thank you so much. You totally saved me. That would be a big internal win. Do you feel that?
All the time.
Yeah.
It's all the time.
Yeah. Heroes are not out to show up and have focus on them. The purpose is, how can I help someone where I have that ability and no one else can do it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do that professionally and personally all my life.
Yeah. Now, the third point in a chart that's really important, besides the sun and the moon, is what we call the ascendant. And that is the sign that is rising on the eastern horizon when you were born. But basically, at the time of your birth, this marks your ascendant as Virgo. Okay, so now what is Virgo? Virgo is traditionally known as the healer, the helper. This is we typically say the doctor, the nurse, the massage therapist, somebody who is offering service. It also is a sign of someone who pays attention to details.
I mean, as you're saying that, I'm thinking, well, no wonder I became a physician. It was in the stars. I mean, it was like, did I have a choice? It's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So yeah, I became a doctor. Didn't pick the easiest profession. And I love it. I mean, it's helping my patients, helping people, helping friends. I help even people that aren't even my patients and they're calling me all the time.
That totally matches because you're the rebel. So you're like, you know what? Hell, I'm going to help somebody. And why should I not help them? That totally makes sense. Yeah. So I see you when I look at your chart collectively, and there's also other things that are happening. Like I look at things like relationships. So you see this is Neptune, and then you notice how it's 24 degrees, and you notice how the very top of your chart is 24 degrees, right? Yeah. So this 24 degrees, it's an angle in a chart, and this is considered what we call a trine, and it's between Neptune, which is spirituality, and vision and the bigger picture, and it's really tied into the top part of your chart, which is your career, your life path, like where you're headed. So this combination says that you go above and beyond. So whether it's helping patients above and beyond or learning above and beyond, taking various pieces of information that other narrow-minded people may not think is right and bringing that into your career. So is there anywhere in medicine where you stepped aside from tradition?
Well, yeah, my whole career now, being in private practice, has been stepping away from traditional medicine. So a lot of what I do as a family doctor is to offer patients alternative treatments. So if it's something I can treat naturally rather than just a traditional prescription, I'll offer that to the patients. So most of my people, I've been accused of being a naturopathic doctor. I said, no, I'm an allopathic. I'm a real doctor, but I do natural things, which should be really, the medicine should be more natural.
Well, I can't wait to tell you what's coming up. Only because, did you know that Jupiter rules publishing? Jupiter rules this type of thing where you get the word from the brain out to multiples. So we're going to start looking into kind of where you've been and where you're headed, because from what I understand, you will be celebrating your 7th decade in just a week or so.
Yes.
So I think there's probably lots of good insight that I can give you about this next chapter of your life, even though you're still in your current chapter.
Mm-hmm. Looking forward to that.
The birth chart is basically a picture of the sky at the moment of birth, and as you just saw, can be translated to show the traits and characteristics of an individual. After we are born, though, the planets continue to transit the solar system. As they do, they make contact with various aspects of our birth charts, giving us the ability to track the timing of events in an individual's life. Alice will now go back in time and see if Dr. Curtis's chart timing correlates with past events in his life. Doing so will help Alice also confirm if his birth time is accurate.
This next part, what I want to do is go back in your life and just see how you followed your rhythm of life. July 2002 to 2003, how did your life significantly change in career? Did something change in your business? Did something change in your home? Did you buy a home, sell a home? Did you move? Anything in those years?
Well, at that time then, I was actually just starting in private practice. So then it was like a career change from academic medicine into being a real doctor on your own and learning everything there is to learn about business that I knew nothing about.
Perfect. Because at that time, Saturn, the planet of foundation and business and structure and leadership, was crossing the top of your chart, which is the point of your career, your life path. So it's usually, I call it a change in business card. You actually step up in some way. And there's multiple other things going on, but that stood out to me. That makes sense. Okay, I'm going to take you to 2005. I know that I'm taking you kind of far back, but I just was wondering if you can possibly remember 05, 06, was there any significant changes? Did somebody move in, somebody move out? Did you go through any renovations or any sort of major changes?
Yeah, 05, 06 is huge renovations. Right around that time, I think I got in over my head and running a business, and it was like calling my wife, said, I need help. I had checks from patients' payment laying all over the place. When she sat down, she said, how can you run a business? You didn't deposit these checks. I said, I'm too busy to do that. She would open like the paperwork, said, you got checks hidden in all of this. She says, you're really bad at this. I said, I didn't go to business school. So she stepped in and automated everything and organized everything to allow me to do more of what I was good at. And she took over the business part, got the software for the business. We were electronic medical records and just dealing with just having fun and running a business.
Yes, because Pluto, the planet of transformation and change and stepping into your power, it was over the 4th house. 4th house, the bottom of your chart is home. So it totally makes sense that your wife came in from home to help you go through this transformation. Usually we feel pretty lost during this time, so that makes total sense. Anything in 2017, 2018, this is not too long ago. Was there any sort of changes? And I'm going to say, again, changes to your foundation, how you operated.
Yeah, 17 was, I believe that's when our daughter joined the practice. She completed her medical training, Perfect. Finished her residency in New Jersey, and she wanted to come home. And I said, I have the perfect opportunity for you. And so it's a family practice. We're both family doctors, and it truly is a family practice. Yeah, that was a huge beginning.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, now I am clear. You are right on. So what I know is that reading your natal chart, you could see yourself in that. Going back in your life, you could see some of the cycles being hit. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go forward in your life and just see what's next for you.
In the next segment, Alice will forecast Dr. Curtis's future themes using a unique energy calendar she created. Each line or block of color on the calendar represents a different planetary influence. Pink forecasts potential changes, blue highlights periods of support and opportunity, and green lines denote a variety of other themes. Let's see what Dr. Curtis's future has in store for him.
what I've done is I've created my own method of explaining the upcoming energies, and I do it kind of like a Gantt chart, just so that we can understand at what time, what themes will be present, and then you'll be able to take this energy calendar, which I call it, and kind of see how it unfolds for you over the years. Can you look back last year and say that you were, I don't know how to say it, like wondering about what to do, thinking about something, feeling like it's time to perhaps turn a corner, anything, nothing actionable maybe, but sort of in your mind?
I'm about to turn 70, and most people usually were retired 5 years ago. So it's like, what else do I want to do? I think that's sort of the best way to explain this. It's like looking for the next adventure. Perfect.
See, because last year you had this sort of very, like almost like background music playing, I'll use that word, of Neptune, which is the planet of questioning, wondering, vision, on top of Mars, which is the planet of action and moving forward. So kind of in the back of your mind, like, what if I move in a different direction? What is that direction? But not being really clear as to how that's going to play out. So you had that theme on top of a sun and a moon thing, which is like trying to feel your way for that next step of who you are and what you want to do. So it sounds like that's where you were. And nothing was definitely set last year, at least according to your chart. And as we move into this year, we're going to start to see way more clarity. And I really want to say 2025 is going to be your year in terms of feeling solid, stepping up, being an authority. And I'm going to use the word a new field or a new industry, maybe not, but a new sector. So there's something here that's brewing. So now we're going to get into today. First of all, you see this bottom line that's marked number 4, and it's pink. Okay, so it says here on the very left, it starts April 2024, this is right now, and it's Mars in a square to the moon. And notice how long it goes. It's going to go all the way, and it's going to be really strong in February, go all the way for 2024 and 2025. So this is a long-term energy. It's like, think of like the season, or think of like the background music. So Mars and the moon, what is this? Mars activates your Aries energy, which is that pioneering spirit. Mars is my car's in gear and I want to pioneer something new. The moon is how you feel. So you'll probably start to feel more and more as the year goes on, I need to get my car, I need to move forward. And knowing your chart, knowing how frustrated you can be when you don't know like exactly what it is, you'll probably feel a bit of tension, like I want to do something, and you're waiting for that exact clarity. So underlying that, so that's going on. It'll increase as we go. But the big thing that I'm seeing is this one here. You see, I marked it number 13, and I put a little compass there, north, south, east, west, with some question marks. Put double asterisks there because it's a big deal. And I wrote here, new moon, new beginnings. So every 28 years, there's a movement of the moon. It's called the progressed moon, and it takes 28 years and it lands right on your sun. So what it's prepping you for is new beginnings. And you will feel, you're only in April now, and you definitely start to feel this a while ago, but you'll really feel this as you get into July, August, September, and October. I'm ready to rebirth. I'm ready to let something go. So that being said, between now and like this fall, things that you may have once thought you wanted to do, you might now say, yeah, no, that's not me anymore. That was me in my 50s or my 60s. So you're going to really be able to let go of some other ideas you have and start to sort of coalesce or distill into what this is. And if you are unclear at the moment, I'm not worried at all, because as you get there, when we check back with you, you'll notice like, yeah, I feel like I'm done with this. I'm done with that. You're even going to start to throw out clutter. You'll notice like, what is all this junk over here? I don't need this anymore. You are going to really want this new beginning. Yeah. Do you even know what this is? Are you planning anything along these lines? Because if you don't, that's actually good, because we'll figure out what it is when you get there.
I've been toying with the idea of doing presentation, seminar, teaching.
And you as a sage really wants to, you as a sage and a hero, like having knowledge and information that you really feel inspired to like go out and do something with. So I think we'll check in with you then to see what that is. But I'll just want you to know that no idea is like that voice in your head that no idea is impossible. And I talked about 2024 as being the year of personal power. So it is a time when we own it. So I'm going to drop you down to this green line that you see on the bottom, energy 3. This started last year, August. And you see how there's some arrows here, arrow pointing to May, and then it goes all the way to May of 2025. It's another one of those long background themes. Neptune moon, again, wondering what it is I feel called to do. So you're under this, I want to move forward with something that really inspires me, because there's a lot of moon energy, not like I have to do it because, but I want to do it because this is who I am today. So we have this really feeling of wondering what it is. Can I do it? There's a lot of doubt, perhaps. There's a lot of uncertainty. How does it work? What do I do? What's the next step? So you should be wondering as well as feeling the need to move forward.
I feel like I'm in that space now.
Making me look good.
It's very, sometimes unnerving, but it gets me restless.
Yeah, restless is a perfect word, because by nature, you like to move forward. By nature. Like if there's something to be done, you want to go do it. And so if you don't know what it is you want to do, then it makes you feel restless because you have the energy, you just don't have the clear focus, which is coming. That's why I'm saying August, September, October, right around then, you'll know what it is. It may not manifest, you may not have something to show, but you'll definitely be like, yeah, this is me. So this is the fun part, because I think we want to follow up with you even more, because look at this energy 7 here. You see a double start it, meaning it's important, starts at about December of this year. And notice how it moves all the way through 2025. So Saturn is the planet of structure, authority, making tangible changes. Some of the stuff I'm talking about is all feeling, thinking, imagining, but this is where we actually see the rubber hit the road. So at the end of this year into next year, this is what I see. You are going to actually start to do some of those things that you will be very clear about in August, September, October. This will involve you changing your schedule. This will involve you perhaps learning something new, willing to step up and do something you've never done before.
When I'm challenged like that, it's an exciting time for me because I know I'm learning something new. So then I'm all in at that point. Make the mistakes, do whatever it is, and it takes me to a new place. And I think that's what's exciting. It's sort of what I find, I guess from last year, it's like, where's that new place I'm supposed to go? Definitely I know retiring, like what people think of retiring, is not it. But something different, something new, something I haven't done would be it.
Yeah. I'm sorry to say this, but you're not meant to retire. That is just not you. You'll retire into something else and create something else, and you'll be doing that till the day you die. So if someone were to say to me, and I've had wives bring their charts to me and say, okay, tell me when my husband is going to finally stay home. You're one of the ones I'll say never. He's going to go out and do his thing. He might do it from home, but the idea is that there's always something. Your adventure is in your blood. Now look at these other ones. You see all the blue here? All that blue simply is what I've deemed clear blue sky. So this is opportunities. How are planets supporting you in these things? So maybe you say, I want to do this, but I have no idea how to do it. Like I Googled all over, I asked people I don't know, but when the time is right, opportunity will come in and somebody will say, I know how to do that. This would be easy. Okay, so for the most part, do you kind of get where you're at? Like you're in a good place. You've been wondering about things. You'll get some clarity when it comes to this, I'm going to say summer, early fall, and you'll actually play it out in 2025.
Yeah, I see that how everything goes into 2025 and even into 2026.
Yeah, so I think it's a work in progress. You are a perfectionist by nature in some way, shape, or form. If you're going to master it, you're going to do it well. That's that Virgo rising. Do you have any questions at all about anything I said in any of the various segments?
Oh, it's exciting. It's like, it doesn't tell me what I'm going to do, and yet it tells me that there's support with the stars and the planets, and it will happen. Yeah.
More than half a year has passed since Alice gave Dr. Curtis his reading and predicted some events for him. Let's catch up with him and see if anything that Alice forecasted has come to pass.
The timing of that forecast was, I think for me, it was perfect timing because I was in a state where, now what? What do I do next? I'm old enough to retire, but it was like, I enjoy medicine. I enjoy what I do, but how it's being done, I've kind of don't like the way things are going now. And so towards the end of 2024, I was really looking, how can I redesign medicine? Because what was missing, really, when I look at it, is the doctor-patient relationship. And I was looking at some of the things out there that I could train myself on, and there was one particular program that was kind of pricey, and right around mid-December, I said, no, that's not right. All of a sudden this year, 2025, things changed, the energy shifted. Things became easier. Trying to do everything myself was no longer necessary. Beginning of 2025, my family, my wife, my daughter, my son, and I, we created a board. We would have monthly meetings and how to redesign the practice. And it's really exciting. So I can't really say what we're doing yet, but it's in the plans. So it's, at this point, it's like, whoa, there is so much we could offer that we're not offering because of the way the healthcare system restricts us from doing things. And I'm excited about having the ability, the opportunity to switch that.
During Alice's reading, Dr. Curtis forgot a key date that Alice wanted to highlight from his past. In our follow-up interview, he recalled that life-changing date that Alice initially pointed out.
That's around 2016. That's when we opened the new office here in Mo'iliili. It's because my daughter made a comment to me, Dad, I want to come home, but your office, the old office, she said, that's too small for two of us. And I kind of said it in passing to Janice one day, and then she said, I'll be back. And she was gone, and she came back 2 hours later, and she said, you're approved. What are you talking about? She said, the bank pre-approved you for the loan to build a new building. And I was like, how do you do that? She says, it's not me, it's you. She says, they looked at your numbers and they said, you can have this amount of money and you can build your new building and your daughter can practice with you. So, yeah, that was that year. As a business owner, you have to reinvent yourself. Really, that's what it comes down to. And having the forecast was almost like being reminded and given the permission, go reinvent yourself, because you've accomplished this at this point. What's next? The shift, the clarity, and the energy behind it is fantastic. It's like when I think about it, I get so excited. And to know that this is not coincidence, it's actually in the stars, if you will. It was predestined, and you just followed the path.
Well, as we come to the end of today's episode, let's take heart in this thought. Every person has a story of stars waiting to be read. I'm Alice Inoue. Join me next time as we travel through more celestial stories on Following Journeys.